Today we're going to be learning about some spooky diseases like rabies,
chronic wasting disease,
necrotizing fasciitis, and Yersinia pestis. Rabies is a relatively simple disease to understand. It starts when you get bit or scratched or make any blood or saliva contact with an animal that's been infected. Like that. You might notice hydrophobia when you go to drink water and do this. That's not good. Unfortunately, if you've been diagnosed with rabies, you're not gonna live. So, you kinda just gotta take it. You're not gonna throw it. There have only been about 2 people to ever actually survive rabies, and that is due to them being put into a medically induced coma. Doctors thought, and were right, about that stopping the disease. If you have rabies and you let it progress, you will go into a coma and you will die. But doctors thought, if we put them in a coma early enough, it'll just stop it from putting you in a coma and killing you. And surprisingly enough, it worked. 2 people have survived, but comes at a cost. They still have major mental damage. Your life comes at a cost. Be very careful about what you do.
chronic wasting disease, CWD for short, causes your brain to basically turn into mush. It affects motor control, it affects eating. You can get it from drinking water, eating food, or basically anything. Thankfully, humans can get it, but animals like elk and deer can, so they end up just dying. And there is no cure for the disease either. And the only way to get rid of it is by burning the quartz at about 4,000 degrees. Other than that, not much else to do.
Necrotizing fasciitis, as hard as it is to pronounce, is just as scary as a few of the other diseases in here. It's relatively rare, but that doesn't mean you can't get it. Once you've been infected, one of the first signs that'll show is your skin turning red around the infected area. This can spread quickly, but this is just the beginning. As it goes on, you'll notice some black dots begin to form, and maybe some pus is gonna leak out. Then it begins to hurt. A lot. Hurting to the point where you're probably curled up on the ground screaming, "Ah!" Like that. This is not good. It can spread and it can cause sepsis. Sepsis happens when an infection basically puts your body in a chokehold, so a bunch of chain reactions start happening. You have diarrhea, the rest of you can get infections. It basically crumples your body. Now, you're probably wondering, why is all this happening? What is happening to the red spot on my leg? Under my skin, a very bad thing is happening. Everything in this red and black and pus leaking, oozing area is basically turning into mush. The tissue underneath it is melting. That is why necrotizing fasciitis is often referred to as the flesh-eating disease. It has inspired multiple movies, like Cabin Fever, which it's not very appropriate. You shouldn't watch it in school, or at all, I feel like I should say. It's pretty spooky. Eli Roth directed it. There's a dog named Dr. Mambo in it. Pretty good.
Smallpox, also called variola, has a bunch of red scabs that are sometimes filled with pus. And if you scratch them, they will explode or leak everywhere. And if it comes in contact with other blood, then you can spread the disease. It is one of the only diseases that have ever been eradicated by humans. And the last case was in Somalia in 1977. So obviously, since smallpox is no longer a common disease, this is what it would look like, and obviously I do not have it.
Notice the similarities to chickenpox, often confused for it. This looks more like chickenpox because it's more red and it's not bumpy, but if you notice something like this on your body, it's probably chickenpox. You can't get smallpox anymore. Don't worry about it. You're good.
One of the most famous diseases in human history is the Black Death, which is caused by a bacteria known as Yersinia pestis. Oftentimes, you won't expect to have it. You know, everybody's heard about it. Ooh, this happened in the 1600s and Justinian times and all this stuff. You're wrong. You can still get it. You might not. Like I said with necrotizing fasciitis, the chances are never zero.
Soon, you'll start to notice these red things. They'll be bumpy, but I can't show that. Just kind of, they'll pop out. These are known as buboes. They're filled with pus, and they appear all over you. They will explode. They will hurt. Another commonly seen symptom is your fingertips, or tips of your toes, turning black. I'm showing my fingers because you guys aren't going to see my toes without paying first. This is not good. Fingers should not turn black. Just go to a doctor, man. Just go to a doctor. Back in the olden times, when the Black Death was very prevalent, it was thought that rats were the cause of it. You know, rats, dirty little pesky creatures that get everywhere. They're dirty. But that wasn't the true cause. It was actually something that was on the fleas that caused the Black Death. Nowadays, if you're not from the United States and you have money, you have health care. So you don't really need to worry about it. It's not prevalent. But if you get it, you just gotta take some antibiotics. Just some pills every day. That's about it. Thank you for watching this and not throwing a share at me because I'm terrible at presenting. I'm not surprised at the lack of quality in the presentation.
I mean, just don't do these. It's not a good idea.
It's really that simple. Don't go poking animals that are too friendly or have foam pouring out of their mouths. Don't touch people with necrotizing fasciitis. Literally, just don't touch them. If there's a person with this on their leg, a spot that is red and black, don't touch it. What are you thinking? Humans can't get CWD, but I still don't think it's really wise to go poking an emaciated deer. Don't get fleas. It's not really that prevalent. It's not hard to cure the plague, but just deal with your infestation, okay? Smallpox, you can't get it. If you manage to get it, I feel like you deserve to have it at that point. Like if you go to that length to get it, just don't get them. Thank you for watching.